Hi there, it's Dan here from Flexxable, and today we're going to talk about how to improve the quality of your web leads. Let's get stuck in. Okay, so let's get started with some of the common problems that people have when they're generating leads for clients, either on a pay per lead basis, on a retainer basis. It doesn't really matter. If you're in lead generation, then you're going to have some issues like this. All right, so the first one is that the contact rate of the leads is really bad. All right, so say for example, you're generating 100 leads and the client is only able to get in touch with 50 of them, you're immediately going to have problems with the client getting back to you and saying that there's problems with the lead quality, right? But when it comes down to it, that could open up a whole nother rabbit hole of problems that could be on the client side or could be on your side, all right? But most of the time, from our experience, if you're supplying web leads to people that are filling in a form in real time and it's being sent to the client in real time, one of the usual culprit, and the clients hate hearing it, is it's them and it's their follow-up systems. All right, so the quality of your leads, and if you're getting big contact big kickback on contact rates, it's usually because the client isn't working the leads well enough. All right, there's a number of different ways we can talk about how to fix that, which we'll touch on in a moment. But yeah, that's a really big problem. The second one you want to look at when talking about problems with lead quality could be the traffic source, all right? So, or even the traffic source within a traffic source. So let's say you're generating Google leads, search leads. There's intent behind those leads, all right? People are searching for car finance or mortgage or whatever it is, or how to get a new kitchen or how to buy a cheap new kitchen. It's very different from people that are scrolling through their newsfeed on Facebook and clicking on an ad and putting in a lead to get a kitchen quote. Completely different type of prospect. Okay, so if you're looking at the difference between search quality and social quality from Facebook or Twitter or whatever it might be, there's no doubt you're going to see a bit of a drop off, and that's reflected in the cost per lead that clients are willing to pay. So if you are very good at search and you're able to get cheap-ish leads on search, then I would always recommend going down that route if possible, because from what I've learned over the years, that clients are much more willing to work less leads and pay more per lead, because it means they've got to have less staff, less overheads, less people calling leads every day, and also a more motivated sales team. You've got to look at these things, all right? If you're able to separate out your traffic and leads into different traffic sources, that's really going to help. The next issue that you might be coming up against, if the client's getting back to you and saying your leads are crap, the quality is crap, it very much could be down to the criteria of the leads that you're selling, okay, or passing on to the client. It took me a while to figure this out. I was a bit of a slow learner back then, but when we first started in one of our verticals, we would send literally every lead that came in to the client. All right, so we'd have an ad that went to, I think it was an advertorial funnel or some kind of a survey quiz funnel, and every single person that answered the questions in the quiz was sent through to the client, which meant that the client was receiving every lead, which meant there was a lot of non-qualifiers within those leads. All right, so for example, if let's say it's a car finance lead, there might be some people that were being sent through that actually have bad credit. There could be people that are good credit, that are really great, have great credit, or there are people that could be homeowners, or there could be people that were in a debt solution, which meant that they wouldn't qualify for certain car finance products. So it really does depend on who your client is and what type of leads that they want. And if you can have the conversation up front with them and figure out which of the leads do not qualify or aren't going to be a good fit for your client, you're able to segment that out using tools such as LeadsHook, or if you've got lead distribution software like LeadBite or GetCake, then you're able to filter them out and sell them to different clients, and this is where you really start winning. If you're able to sell the good credit leads to a good credit car finance company and the bad credit leads to a bad credit car finance company, then suddenly you've got a real business on your hands. If we're going to talk right now about how to improve the quality of your leads, there are a number of different ways to do that. But the first thing we want to touch on before we move into that is scrub rates. Clients hate scrubs, okay? It wastes their time and it also wastes your time. And what I mean by scrubs are leads that could be duplicate, wrong number, or hoax leads. And usually you'll find that roughly 10% of the volume that you send through to the client fall under the hoax category, okay? And if it jumps above that 10% rate, then you're going to really start struggling with your clients and your cost per leads. And you could be, if you're selling on a pay per lead basis, then you could be selling the leads for more than what you're getting. So it's imperative that you try and slash the scrub rates from your funnel, from your advertising process. There's a few different ways you can do that. The first one is by installing a number verification system inside your funnels using either Twilio or DataSoap or similar type tools. And what happens is that you're able to, when people are typing in their number, I'm sure you've seen this on web forms, right? They will, the number will be verified in real time. Okay, so if it's a fake number or a hoax number that the prospect is putting into the funnel, it's going to come up as a red cross and they won't be able to get through until they type in a correct number. Of course, we've all done it before where we've seen that little red box when we're trying to put a test lead in, and then we just try 3 or 4 different numbers, then eventually it becomes green, and then you can put your name and number and phone number in, and then it's a lead, right? So people do figure out ways around this, but it is a nice way to capture some people. Okay, and a nice little hack if you're a little bit more advanced is to be able to not sell the leads where people have tried 3 or 4 times. Okay, you can just put them into an email sequence or similar, or a nice little hack there for you. So the next level on top of that is by what we call pin verification. Okay, so a picture coming in through a funnel, people are going all the way to the end of the form, they're putting in their name, email, and phone number. And what happens then after they submit the phone number is before they can go to the next stage or to the thank you page and become a lead, you can actually send the user a text message to their mobile device, which they have to put back into the funnel to become a lead. All right, and there's a number of different ways you can position that to say that the user can skip the queue and get priority and VIP service, etc. But what happens then, guess what, is that in order for the person to become a lead, they have to have put in their entered their correct number. Otherwise, they literally couldn't become a lead. They couldn't reach the end of the funnel. Okay, so it's a really great way to massively spike the quality of your leads. On the other hand, because there's less people getting through, it's going to push your cost per lead up, right? But as I said at the start of this video, clients are much more willing to pay a premium for better quality leads than work a load of lesser quality leads and send a crap load of hoax and refunds back through to your business. So number verification and pin verification are very important steps if you want to help increase your lead quality. The next really valuable tip when it comes to increasing contact rates and quality of your leads is to really position your business or the lead generation site that you're generating the lead from on the thank you page. Okay, so there are a number of ways you can do that. The first one is to have like a video, really informal, I like to call it barbecue conversation, where it could be the owner of the business or you as the owner of the lead gen website, really making it fun and exciting and getting the user excited about picking up the phone and answering the call center that's going to be calling, right? And if you can position it that way where they're not being scared off by a dry as a bone type lead generation company that looks like a fake hoax, whatever, then you're going to actually see the user getting much more excited and you're going to get people picking up the phone a lot more. Okay, you could also, if you're a lead generation website and you're selling to multiple clients, then you can use clever tech to be able to have a custom thank you page for every single client you're selling the lead to. So say you're selling a lead to XYZ Car Finance and ABC Car Finance. If the lead comes through and they qualify for the ABC company, then sell it to that one and have a thank you page that's specific to ABC and vice versa. Okay, when I was talking about the bad credit and the good credit company example before, that's a really good way of increasing the quality, because the person knows they're going to get a call from each of those car finance companies. I hope that makes sense. Going a little bit off track here. And if you don't have that luxury, you can always put the phone number of the client that they're going to get the call from. So, hey, Dan, you're going to get a call from XYZ phone number. Be prepared, it's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. All right. So what I'm trying to say is spend a lot of time on the thank you page and really get that dialed in, because you've done all of the hard work, right? You can't lose by spending time on the thank you page. I hope that makes sense. You might be thinking, okay, it's all well and good, Dan, but how do I actually improve the quality of my leads? A lot of you might be doing some good volume and generating great leads for clients, but it's just not working and they're not reordering. Okay, so there's a few different things you can do, and I've already touched on these in a way inside this video, but the first thing is think about blending a couple of different traffic sources. I wouldn't recommend trying to do 5 at one time, because they're all different and they all require some skill and time and effort to get dialed in, and there's always going to be a learning process. But you can never go wrong by perhaps supplementing some YouTube leads with some search leads, or some Facebook leads with some YouTube leads. All right, it's always a really good idea to be able to send both to the client and see what works for them. For example, we did this in the debt consolidation space, and out of roughly, it was about 2,000 leads, we found that YouTube leads converted at 17% and Facebook leads converted at 8%. So if we didn't have those type of stats and we weren't testing with our client and getting feedback from our client, we wouldn't have been able to figure that one out. So, run a test with some different traffic sources. The next thing you want to do is to be able to speak to your client and figure out if there's certain criteria that they will pay more for or pay less for, or be able to pass on to their friend down the road that's in a similar industry. This is really important, right? Because you might be able to sell your lead for less to the client that's buying them now if you're able to sell the wastage or the leads that they couldn't convert to their buddy down the road for a premium, okay? And the only way you're able to do that is if you are constantly in communication with your client, figuring out what's working and what isn't working, and then taking that feedback and putting it into your funnel to figure out what the criteria is that they really want versus what they don't want. And if you can find a home for the wastage, then sometimes the wastage is pure profit, and it'll allow you to be able to spend more, to be able to acquire your leads, because you've got so much margin where you didn't have before. All right, so criteria, knowing what the client wants, and segmentation, and selling leads to multiple people. If you do have a lead generation brand, then you're able to really, really increase your profit margins without doing too much more. The last way that you can improve the quality of your leads, and that's not the last way, there's lots of different ways you can do this, right? But this one's a bit of a shameless plug, but it's such a good product. I really want to talk about it today, and that's being able to sell appointments and leads via the same funnel. Okay, and we've got, I think there'll be a little link up here, just up here, which is a link to a video which explains about what we call the Holy Grail funnel. And that gives you the ability as a lead gen to be able to sell leads to the big boys and appointments to the small guys, all from the same funnel. That combines a few bits of really cool software that allows you to do it all from one funnel. I don't think there's anyone else on the market that's able to do this. So, yeah, appointments is obviously a way to be able to charge more and increase the quality of your leads, is what I'm trying to say, alongside leads. So give that a watch and see how it goes. Okay, and one more thing before I go. If you are a Facebook only advertiser and you're generating all your traffic on Facebook and all your leads on Facebook, then first of all, be wary, because any business that's built on one platform, in my opinion, is a little bit on shaky ground. So try and diversify a little bit. But if you are struggling with quality and you're only on Facebook, then one thing that I would definitely try and do is run an advertorial funnel. Okay, you see a lot of this on Facebook with some of the big advertisers. So instead of going for like a Facebook lead form, for example, then you want to try and, well, the next step after that's a quiz survey funnel. And if the quality is still not there for that, then you need to start thinking about an advertorial funnel. So it's an ad that sells the click, that goes to an advertorial, which again sells the click to the landing page, which is where you capture the lead's details, right? And if they have to jump through all of these hoops in order to get through to the end, they'll be pre-sold at that point in time, and the lead quality is always better on an advertorial funnel than it is ad to quiz or Facebook lead form. All right, so I would recommend giving that a go. Again, there's a link here to an advertorial training that I did with a couple of really great advertorial copywriters, Hugh and Dan, who have given, it's just packed full of content. I highly recommend you watch it because it's a great webinar. So please do give us a like so we know to create more content like this. Also, if you really want to chat to us and you've got any questions about what I've explained today, then please give us a comment below. And lastly, please subscribe to this channel so you're going to be the first to know when there's new stuff that we're releasing. Thank you very much.